What's poppin', y'all? I saw when this first happened and I put it on my list, but I can't believe I just let it escape me. I just forgot about it for a quick second, but we must come back to this because it is none other than DJ Vlad and Lord Jamar. And one of the most disgusting behaviors that one of the behaviors that disgusts me the most, I should say. So if you guys are unfamiliar, Lord Jamar, he was part of a rap group back in the day. It was called Brand Nubian. Grand Puba was also on there. And these guys were very pro-black, but they were also 5%ers, also known as the Nation of Gods and Earths. Now, if you guys know about Jay Electronica, he's also a 5%er. Now, 5%er falls, and this is important information, 5%er falls under, I wouldn't necessarily say it falls under the umbrella of Nation of Islam. Nation of Islam, 5%er came out of the teachings of Nation of Islam. So they are not the same. I would say that they're a bit of an offshoot of NOI, which is Nation of Islam, but they still have high regard for figures like Elijah Muhammad, Elijah Poole, who started Nation of Islam, as well as Malcolm X, and none other than Farrakhan. So Lord Jamar, he's a 5%er, and he was I would say maybe the original guest. Like, you know how we have Boosie, we have who else? We have Boosie, we have Tony Yayo. We're like, yo, I can't wait to see what they're going to say about this on Vlad. This recurring guest model that Vlad has created where they talk about topics and he has these commentators on there. Lord Jamar was one of the early ones. I would also say that I would have to give credit to Daylight being one of them as well. Yeah, I would say Daylight and Lord Jamar and Godfrey as well. They were you could say the experimentation process. Like, it was still the research and development phase before Vlad fleshed this out. And I think before he started paying people for both interviews and for these consistent appearances. But what happened was Vlad got into it with Farrakhan. He made some comments that Lord Jamar did not like about Farrakhan. And Lord Jamar pushed up on Vlad. He's like, yo, you got to apologize. And Vlad was like, yo, I'm not trying to do that. And Lord Jamar was talking about like, yo, he felt that he was doing a lot of work for Vlad in terms of like, yo, he's got people saying Vlad's the police, this and that. And like I said, he's a very pro-black guy. A lot of narratives surround Vlad. I would say, I wouldn't necessarily say completely unjustified, but a lot of them are baseless narratives. Nevertheless, there's this reputation that Vlad's getting people locked up, Vlad's racist, etc., which I definitely don't think Vlad is racist. So he felt like he had to keep defending Vlad outside of the show, which has nothing to do with Vlad and the business or whatever arrangement you guys have. So what happens is that when he doesn't apologize, I think this was too much for Lord Jamar, and this is the important part, that he decided to leave. And not only did he decide to leave, he was intent on destroying Vlad, which is really, really snake behavior. So I'm going to play you guys this clip from back then when he talks about this.
Now, since he don't want to respect the culture like we need him to respect, now Operation You're Corny as a Mother, you go up to Vlad is in effect. Point blank. Like, and don't think that I don't have that type of power, because I do. Okay? I'm the one who single-handedly stopped mother wearing skirts in hip-hop. Hang on. Let me give myself a round of applause for that.
You single-handedly? Right on.
I
give yourself an applause.
You heard it? Listen, I'm going to give myself another one. I single-handedly stopped mother from, with skirts and shit like that. I made them look stupid. You know what I mean? All these type of motherfuckers. Made it look corny. So guess what? Anybody that goes up there now that's not on code after the main two of the main motherfuckers that was on that channel said we ain't fucking with this no more. If y'all continue to go up there, you're corny. You're corny, and we not fucking with you. Because right now, it's all about us as black people.
So off rip, if you're unfamiliar, you're probably getting an idea of this guy and you're like, who the hell did this guy stop from wearing a skirt? And this is the thing. Rappers wearing skirts was never a trend. How many times can you count when Ye wore a kilt? Like once. A$AP Rocky, I think he did it once. You had Lil Uzi Vert, he did it for some fashion cover or something like that. I think it was Marc Jacobs. You had Young Thug do it a couple of times, but once Young Thug got clouded and lit, he completely got rid of all of that. So who are the people that he stopped from wearing dresses? Yeah, he made a lot of commentary about rappers wearing dresses, but he didn't stop any of that. And he's talking about he's got the power to do that. No, he doesn't. And we can clearly see he doesn't have the power because he came crawling back to Vlad. But yes, you see what this guy's doing. And also, there are other clips where he was saying that, yo, we don't need Vlad. We can make our own Vlad, which is also hilarious. Like, Vlad not only has a deep catalog, a deep history, but people like to see Vlad's content. Now, throughout all of those years, this was a 5-year span, I think, that Lord Jamar was making an attempt to, quote unquote, be the next Vlad, and nothing improved in that time span. His viewership just continued to decline. You know what I mean? Godcast, that's what his channel is called. I don't know if he still uploads on there. I haven't seen anything from it in at least 4 years. But he roped Godfrey into this with him. Now, Godfrey and Lord Jamar were cool, and they came on together as the show, and they thought, like, okay, we've got the power to really make something shake. And I will say that it was tough for Vlad in that time period, and I'm sure Vlad can admit that too, which is why it's so odd to me that he was willing to forgive him, Vlad willing to forgive Lord Jamar. And you would think after this, there's no way they're going to come back together. Well, during that time period, in the past 4 or 5 years, even out of Lord Jamar's own mouth, he said that he would never, under any circumstance, return to DJ Vlad's platform. So let's run that clip.
Good Lord.
What's happening, Panda?
It's all good, bro. Just want to give you a shout out, man. The way you've been doing all these lives and stuff like that, I'm always tapped in, you know, watching you do your thing.
I see you. I see you in here. I'll be shouting you out when I see you in the chat. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. I wanted to ask you, though, before you get into the Kanye stuff, what did you think about when they finally got Vlad to address you the other day?
Oh, I mean, I don't think it was much of an addressing or whatever, but listen, what's he supposed to say? You know what I mean? Like what's he supposed to say? Like, I wouldn't be, he's right. I wouldn't run up on him and all that type of, it's not that serious where I want to fight him and all this type of. So he's right. There's nothing to worry about as far as that is concerned. You know what I mean? We just standing on FBA business. That's all. You know what I mean?
But would you have a conversation with him in person, though?
Would I have a conversation with him in person? Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. It depends. You know what I mean? Like, I don't hate dude. It's just, he's, you know, would I rock with him the way I rocked with him before? No. Because, you know what I mean? You showed your true colors. You know what I mean? But it's not like, you know, I have a phobia of him or some shit where I can't talk to him, but I'm not supporting his platform like that. And I'm not, you know, I'm not going to be fooled into thinking that we cool like that. He's about him, you know what I mean? And I'm about me.
So we would never see a day when we see Lord Jamar back with Vlad on this platform. No. Even if he came out and apologized for everything and was like...
It's too late for that. It's too late.
Yeah,
it's too late for that.
Do you think Godfrey is going to go back? Because he said he's not going to.
He said he's not, but... You know, I don't know about his integrity. So we'll see. We'll see. But trust me, I was the one that painted us in the corner of not going back on there because the homie was talking about, well, maybe we'll just take a break. No. I was like, no breaks. We either you don't do this or, you know what I mean? So that's what leads me to believe he might go back. But he says he's not. So if he don't, cool. Stand on business.
Now, this is a crazy part because Godfrey in this scenario, he didn't really have issues with Vlad. He was just like, yo, I'm a roll up. We're going to stay on code and we're going to do our thing. But you have Lord Jamar here saying, and you can kind of see it's not a threat, but it's almost like guilt tripping the guys. Like, yeah, we'll see where his morals are. We'll see if he shows up there first. And then he says, even if Vlad apologizes, even if Vlad offers money, which means that he left out any potential door for him to return, which I think was foolish. It was absolutely foolish. Even if you believed that you would never return, you should never use a word like never on a broadcast because that will get brought up. And it is being brought up right now, and it's being brought up by other people because Lord Jamar didn't just leave for monetary purposes. That's different. If you leave for money, for monetary purposes, the business isn't all right, you can come back and it's all fine. And people can understand. The audience can understand. However, if you leave and you tell everybody else, including the audience, like, hey, this guy's bad for insert group of people here, in this case, black people, and people are riding with you based on like these morals and these principles that they believe that you have that are in their best interest of you as a collective community, then when you go back, that's a slap and a spit in everybody's face that thought you were something that you weren't. And that's exactly what Lord Jamar did. And he's calling out Godfrey too. And what's funny is Godfrey didn't even go back to Vlad TV yet. So we're going to play the clip where Godfrey calls him out after he just saw that.
Yeah, Lord Jamar is going back to Vlad. He's going back to Vlad, man. I'm like, wow. And he was saying that I was going to go and sell out and go back to Vlad, and he just went back to Vlad. Man, that's corny as shit. I'm not going back. You out your mind? I don't have no beef with him. I don't have a beef with Vlad at all. I just not going back to the show because, you know, what he did was wrong. Culturally, it was just off. It wasn't cool. So I'm not going back. No, I don't have a beef with Vlad at all, but I'm not going back though. That would be foolish. You know, that would just be foolish. It just goes against, I mean, just too many sellouts out here. It's just too much. We got to be able to stand on principle sometimes. That's what I say. You know what I mean? Lord Jamar is going back to Vlad. He took a photo with him the other day. Yes. And it was me and Lord Jamar that called Vlad that we were leaving his show, and is going back to him. He went back yesterday, I think, because Lord Jamar is mad that I don't believe that the earth is flat, which is insane. Which it doesn't, and I don't have a beef with Lord Jamar either. He has a problem with me because I don't believe the earth is flat. All right. Man, this shit is crazy. I'm just waiting to hear Lord Jamar's excuse when he gets back on there. That's what I want. Just because I don't believe that the earth is flat.
Now, this is hilarious because how do you get mad, Lord Jamar? He's saying that Lord Jamar believes in the flat earth. How do you get mad at your mans and actually get into it with him because he doesn't also believe in flat earth with you? What the hell world am I living in? Now, no, I do not believe in flat earth. I'm not about to argue with a flat earther because they're probably going to beat me, to be frank, because they've studied this inside out. They know all the debate tactics, but that doesn't mean that I believe the earth is flat. Now, I'm not saying like 100%. Like I said, you know, you never say never. I rarely ever say 100% about something. We'll call it 99.99. Leave myself a little bit of wiggle room. But why is Lord Jamar so hell-bent on the earth being flat? Now, what happened is Lord Jamar couldn't hack it. Godfrey's got a little bit more star power. The guy's more entertaining. The thing is, Vlad knew how to bring the entertainment out of Lord Jamar. He brought these topics to Lord Jamar that he knew would create enough tension as well as controversy that people that didn't really care about Lord Jamar or even know who he was were willing to hear him give his opinion on. And that's the skill that Vlad has, which not enough people give him credit for. But now Lord Jamar comes crawling back, and of course, the reason is none other than monetary. But how can you talk about morals and principles when they get tested by monetary means? You just flounder. It's pathetic. And Lord Jamar cannot speak on anything anymore, like morals and principles. And I would go as far as to say that Vlad did this as a power move. It wasn't because Vlad, listen, a man like Vlad, he does not forget you trying to mess with his paper, mess with his business, and mess with him getting guests on purpose. He brought back Lord Jamar, not because Lord Jamar is going to generate him any. Look at the guests that Vlad has right now. Let me just open up Vlad's channel. As recurring guests, right now, I think the roster for Vlad is Whack 100, Tony Yayo. You've got, and I think there's one more that I mentioned earlier, but I'm forgetting right now. Oh yeah, Boosie. Now we haven't seen Boosie back on there in quite a while, and I think he's got like Terrence Gangsta Williams here and there, but he's not a recurring guest. So you've got Whack 100, you got those three people, just Whack 100, Boosie, and Tony Yayo. Tony Yayo's been doing crazy work, and you're going to tell me that Lord Jamar even holds a candle to any of those three? Nah, he doesn't need Lord Jamar at all. But I think he brought Lord Jamar back as, oh, we're going to bring this guy back and I'm going to embarrass him. It's a power move. It's like, oh, yeah, you're coming back to Papa where you said you would never come back. And he's doing a public display to everyone else that, yeah, look, you guys thought that this guy was about it? Well, this is what you get. And of course, he's going to play nice because there is paper to be made. But I genuinely believe that this was a power move by Vlad to embarrass him, to strip him of any potential level of respect, maybe, that he had in his own community. And also, Academics, I believe, is another recurring guest on Vlad, and Adam. Yeah, so you've got Adam, he's got Trapler Ross as well, who I think is whenever he's in the US. So you've got Trapler Ross, Academics, Adam 22, Whack 100, Tony Yayo, Boosie, and Lord Jamar. And you're telling me that Vlad decided to let him come back because of a business decision? Man, hell nah. Now, I do think Godfrey coming back, he wouldn't have a problem with that, and it wouldn't necessarily be humiliation. I think Godfrey should try to come back, but he just said he wouldn't come back. But I think people would cut Godfrey more slack than they would Lord Jamar. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one.